Hey there, hey there, hey there, Chicken Little. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Latent Space. This is James True live. I have not contemplated my physical retinal reflection until just now. But I am really happy to be here. Oh, there I am. Hi, guys. Good to see you. A little bit tardy today. Sorry. I get really lost in the slides. I forget time and space. I contemplate things. 47 countries. Man, my face, sorry. I washed my face right before this show. And, yeah, I read the mobile phone too much. Man, I just wish this was an audio show. You guys would enjoy it better, I think. But I love me. I'm beautiful, and that's all that matters. I'm gonna talk about some stuff today. Some of you maybe haven't read Atlas Shrugged, and out of the percentage of you that have not read oh, thank you, Yesenia. Appreciate it, guys. And I need to do this to myself. I'm the one who's supposed to be doing that, you know? It's it's just an interesting element of the show. But some of you guys have not read Atlas Shrugged, and a percentage of you that have not read Atlas Shrugged would never admit it. And you're gonna say you read it, and that's cool. Some of you who are not watching the show, because there's no way you would have lasted this long, think that it's just a horrible book, and you attack it from a literary place. You're like, it's a terrible book because it's literarily awful. And so we have that thing, right? You guys are giving me all confidence with all the little smiley loves. Thank you. And these are this is fine. I'm gonna pretend like none of you read it. And I'm even talking to the people that maybe some of you were forced to read it. Some of you guys were forced to watch Amadeus in school, and I am so sorry, because yeah, it's a movie. But if you would have actually watched that movie not under the threat of violence, I honestly think it kind of would have blown your mind. There's actually a lot of contextual fucking depth in that thing. Not to mention, it's quite a thriller, really. It's agonizing, but it really, oh God, it really just exposes the court, the court mentality of ridicule, which is a big thing. See, even I'm talking about my the visual element. It would be a defense I could bring, because I'm not prepping on the visual way, I'm more like prepping on I want to have good slides. Meanwhile, all the dead skin on my face is just like, you don't know what exfoliate means. You've never had exfoliation. Meanwhile, I'm just like, let's talk about the implications of fluoride. Everyone's like, you can't have fluoride because it's a neuron toxin. And I agree with you, but there are thousands of neurotoxins, chlorine is one of them, that do the exact same damage. Yes, let's attack fluoride. Let's do it. Let's create a battle. We will call Naomi Wolf. Hi, Naomi. We will go, let's fucking kill the fluoride people. And we're going to round them up. And let's do that because it's going to feel productive. And this is part of medicine. So you want to feel productive. But meanwhile, little James True over here in his shirt of blue, from just opened a pack of Big League Chew, and he's telling you some things that you should maybe consider do. And one of those is that yes, we will kill fluoride. We will send RFK. We've had all this time, and now we can finally destroy the fluoride in our water. We can. Or we could also consider that every single person that takes pharmaceuticals in a municipal water supply, when they go pee-pee and when they wash their face, and most importantly, when they shower, all of the pharmaceutical molecules, I'm talking molecules, talking the little moles that some of you are like, there's no such thing as molecules. You fucking moleculist. And I'm just like, I'm gonna try not to cuss, okay? So forgive me. I've really been cussing too much. I'm sorry. Oh, it's in my vertebrae. It's in my vertebrae. The vertebrea tar pits has got some cuss words in it, and we are digging those tusks up. We're like, here's a Wookalar. And so this, fuck, what were we talking about? I should not have said Wookalar. God, that's always a reset for me. Whenever I think Wookalar, everything that I was doing before is gone. Some of you guys were like, what's a Wookalar? One of you's like, I fucking know what a Wookalar is, James. And you're like, thank you. It only takes one. It only takes one. Man, I was going to say something. I have no idea what I was talking about. I guess we'll just get on. I'm serious. You could not say the word Wookalar. Oh, I think I was going to tell you about Atlas Shrugged. There's like a lot of things that happen in between. Let's just keep that between us. And, well, molecules. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's all it took. Cindy's like, I will fix this. We will keep going. Don't worry, everyone. I know he's crazy, but he's our crazy, and this is why we like him. So, James, molecules. Like, yes, of course, molecules. So, all of the molecules, the pharma molecules that have interacted with your system, that have met the receptor qualifications to be accepted as a biological part of your body, are leaching into the water supply. And that water supply is being treated by something called fluoride in some municipalities. Not a lot. And here's the difference. We're losing the same. It's the same. Oh, it's the same Mount Hood. This is why I got to go to Portland. It's the same Mount Hood as calcines. Can I call them calcines? Do you guys know what I mean when I say calcines? Let me know if you guys don't know what calcines is. I need you to look in the chat because someone's going to say calcines is boom, boom, boom. Portal Finder knows what Wookalar is. Wookalar in the house. Going down the Wookalar, gonna find him in the Biltmore. The Vanderbilts genetically raised the Wookalar. Anderson Cooper had sex with a pig in the pool underneath the Biltmore estate, and private eyes with Don Knotts and Tim Conway are Illuminati. They are telling you the truth. So is Tom Hanks. Guys, Tom Hanks showed you the hidden hand. He's like, here's a glove. And everyone's like, oh my God, you're a pedophile. It's like, yeah, I'm showing you a single glove. And I keep dangling a single glove. You're a pedophile. Yeah, I'm showing you that I'm the hidden hand. People are like, you're lying to us. You're holding secrets. He's like, seriously, this is the hidden hand and I'm flexing it for you. Diggle, diggle. I'm in a movie about James. You guys know what James Shue talks about. I'm literally in a movie about a monk that's an albino that goes around flogging himself because the flogging of himself opens his, what James has told you, quite frankly, which should have been in the movie, is your amygdala, because it allowed the afferent nerves to come in and hallucinate the fuck out of this place. And that's why every single receptor that you have in your brain has a DMT wormhole gateway. It has, I'm not kidding. Do you know how expensive it is to create a world where every single synaptic input that you have has to be converted from electro into chemical and from chemical into electro? Billions of times. Some of you guys don't know what billions are, like me. I can't even fathom billion. We just say it. It's just something we say. It's a church where we go, that's a lot. All of us come in and we go, okay, we worship you, billion. You're a fucking lot, right? I just cussed again. Need to hook up some. I would hook up like, so I tried this thing where the AI, if it detects a cuss word, it shocks me. And I hooked those electrodes up to my nipples and it had the opposite effect. And now I cuss like a sailor. So send your support to the International Don't Do That Foundation. The point is that we are like, we have to kill the things that are published in the calcine recipe. You guys know what calcine is, right? You guys are good with that? Can I say that? You know what I mean? So we feel safe because they've told us the recipe in the calcine and it's dead baby parts. And because it's dead baby parts, we have to go in and fight to stop the dead baby parts. And this is like such a Masonic, how do I say, this is such like a very clever form of deceptive warfare. This is the best I can do, guys. You're just going to have to synaptically place this together. And by the way, let me finish. The DMT wormhole is not like, I'm not trying to be all like, guys, I know things because I do DMT. I'm just describing to you how the neurons work, that if you're going to have to convert from electrical into chemical just so you can jump a spark gap, and in that spark gap, the entire thing is hackable by not just DMT, but literally hackable by anything, any kind of ghost in the machine, right? Guess what Cannabasia is? Cannabasso Chianto. I'm saying this because it's like an Italian version of cannabis, was actually the first, because Italians definitely invented cannabis. And these guys were the endocannabinoidal armies that are like, Gaia's like, I am growing you in Italy. You guys are going to kick the shit out of people's conscious drum. You're going to go in there and you're going to hack the system. You're going to be the ghost in the machine. Guys, I don't know where cannabis is from. I just made up the Italy part, okay? I don't want to lead you astray. I don't want us to invade Italy so we can have all the cannabis. I mean, okay, we can. We can. Might as well. We've invaded 47 countries since World War II. Guess how many times Congress has declared war? The answer is 0. 0, ladies and gentlemen. The number of times Congress has declared war since World War II, despite the fact that we have invaded foreign soil 47 times. That is 1.7 years if you're counting. Every 1.7 years we have invaded a new country and no one's declared war. This is the eagle's vision of peace. This is how an eagle sees peace. You're asking a war eagle, hey, war eagle, I know you've been through a lot, but can you please give us sort of like your version of peace? And he's like, yes, I will give you peace. We will have a fucking wall. We will have an iron dome. I will test all of you. We will arrest people for houseplants. And then we will tell people that you can have houseplants, but you must have papers. And then the entire time we will say, there's nothing Nazi about this. There's nothing to see because I'm the eagle. I see it all. And if I see it all, the last thing I can be is a Nazi, because a Nazi is someone who does not see, but I am the eagle who sees better than all of you. I went to the doctor, the eye doctor. And they're like, would you like to try our new soft shell contact lenses? And I'm like, fuck no, I am the eagle. I see all things. And so you are not, the blindness is invisible. I mean, that's deep, right? The blindness is invisible. Come on, guys. Come on. We can stop for that. Droopy gets it. Well, there was another super chat. What does the super chat say? This is, if I could take one thing with me on a deserted island, it would be my sense of humor. Absolutely. That's well said. Yeah. Yeah. We're doing good, right? Everybody's okay. Yesenia, she got us back on track. We covered the molecule thing, right? We good with that? Oh, let me tell you this deception, okay? I know a lot of you guys aren't going to like this nuance because you really want to fight the recipe. Some of you are like, the dead babies. We want to fight the dead babies. And I get it, man. Let's fucking fight the dead babies. Let's do that. We could build a chain restaurant of let's fight the dead babies. And literally you could sell anything. That is such a powerful river. And I just want you to see the river. I want you to understand that the river's there. And it's more than just called Kwai, okay? This is like, you're not going to be able to put this in a book and close a book and put it on the shelf. And it's fine. This is Unatanki. This is the closest I can tell you to what it was like to animalize the land, because Unatanki it wasn't the river itself. I mean, you could call it that, okay? I'm not trying to say you can't call it that. But it's not. How do you describe this? When the river turns sharply And when it does that, it cuts into the rock. It makes the rock just like shaves the rock clean. It's like a scab that's just like it runs your elbows on the asphalt because you decided to build a slip and slide. And you set up the hose and you set up all the trash bags and you're just like, this is fucking brilliant. And you never once, I've just cussed again, and never once do you decide I should probably have some sort of landing pool to stop myself? But you're like, no, my nipples will stop me, and the disc brakes that will be declared on the driveway will see me through. And then you learn. You only learn from these kind of things. And so this is how I want you to learn. Yeah, I don't need you to see this. I want you to have fun. But if you think about the thing about calcines is if we're fighting the baby parts, we're actually missing I don't care about the recipe. Do you know why I'm not worried about the recipe? Because it's published. Fluoride is published. Not only is fluoride published, if your municipality does it, there's actually already a threshold that's like you're in violation. And when you get in violation and you own a municipal water supply, meaning that you're on the board or you're somehow associated with it, by law, and because you don't want to get sued, you have to mail a letter to every single fucking person in the town. And the letter has to say, we have violated our fluoride, blah, 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 additives, da, da, da. And it's not just that. It's all kinds of things. A lot of people have a shallow witness to municipal water. I shouldn't talk about, you guys are probably like fucking snoring. You're just like, dude, man, can you just talk about Unatanki? The way it carves into the rock is that. It is that. And if I can finish this in 3 seconds, no, I can't. If I can finish this in like 15 seconds, I still can't. Unatanki is the destructive force of things that seem to be outclassed. When the neuron fires in the brain, that's Unatanki. It is the change. It's the morphic oomphness. God, if you can get a hold of that, I swear you're going to be as close as I think you could ever get to understanding what it's like to have an animized consciousness. Because you see, the river it's not the river. There's no such thing as the. God, that's hard, right? But now take out the word the. Now that's river. So now you're just talking like they do in Hollywood. It's like river strong. And you're just like, no, there's no fucking river. There's no fucking river. It's just like there's no landscape in archaeological time. There's no river. Do you know what's there? Is the destructive footprint of the force. That's Unatanki. The river only shows itself in the certain parts that fire enough malamu from the bends in the water to stimulate the brain. This is how they fucking saw. They saw the Unatankness of this place. Please tell me that makes sense, because if it does, I win and I can move on. If not, I'm just going to sit here going, we should have sheep that have berries that grow on their butt, which I still think is such a good idea. God, that is a good idea. So I think the recipe is the red herring, and what's actually behind it is the adjuvant aluminum salt. That's what I think. I also think that Epstein is so it's like at 13 hertz, Epstein is the largest secret blackmail operation that we've ever seen, and it's been uncovered, and that's at 13 hertz. And then 33 hertz is, okay, so at 13 hertz, and it's caused by, and then 24 hertz is all that, plus it's caused by Mossad, for example. And then 26% is, and 38% of all the countries in America make it illegal for you to criticize their foreign policy in a certain way. So then you're just like, and then 33% hertz is this thing that most people aren't going to be at. It's very similar to the recipe versus adjuvant. Man, this is boring. Sorry. I'm going to get this out anyway because it's important. The key is, yes, it's Mossad, but the blackmail scheme of Epstein is not actually... See, if it was a covert underground CIA operation, James Patterson wouldn't have a best-selling book about it. I don't know how to make this less like it sounds like I'm speaking to a retard than that. If it's undercover, you're not going to find it on the New York Times bestseller list. If you do find it on the New York Times bestseller list, you were looking at the dead baby in calcines. You were looking at that. You were looking at, this is the dead body that we strapped to the front of the car, right? And you're going to blame him for driving it. It's brilliant. And we're going to put lipstick and makeup on his face. He's going to be dressed like the Joker. He's going to have some tassels, a lot of tassels. Because tassels and melamina are the same thing. Right, Renee? It's the same thing. These things look the same thing. So it's like, it's so easy to get lost. And because there's like an apple penis, billionaire submarine, all that stuff, this is the Mr. Potato Head. And it's so much more attractive than kind of what's underneath. And what's underneath is that Mossad is not trying to fool billionaires. Mossad is fooling you. Mossad is fooling you because it's bringing everyone out to the yard to say, oh my God, look, we caught him. We exposed the covert. And you're like, well, you can't expose a covert operation. Do you know why you can't expose a covert operation? Do 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 do. Boom, 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 boom. One of you just said, don't. You know you did. The answer is because it's covert. That's the answer. And if you want a covert blackmail operation, you're not going to rent a scuba diving island that you've subleased to Disney. You're not going to tell Steve Bannon about it. You're not going to parade yourself around the city of Miami with a bunch of prostitutes. Literally in the capital prostitute world. I mean, literally like, okay, maybe Vegas. I think Miami's probably, guys, I don't know. I am 0 and 1 for my victory over prostitute. I don't even, we're getting off track here, but oh my God, thank you so much, Vanilla Shakti. Wow, I'm feeling that. You guys have been really, thank you so much. If you guys are wondering if the world's generous, it is. It is, but you got to find the right posture. If you're in the wrong posture, it's not going to be generous. James, do you have a show or not? Let's just get on it, okay? Let's do it, okay? Because I do want to talk about this. Atlas Shrugged, I thought that, the quick 4 questions that Atlas Shrugged, I think, implants on you consciously is, could Atlas shrug? Could Atlas shrug? This was the first one that you may not have even realized. It would be, could Atlas shrug? And then the idea of asking whether or not Atlas could shrug is more about the industry of the world is propped up by titans that if they were to leave the game, the entire thing would fall off. This is a compassion for the billionaire. And I hope that if you haven't read Atlas Shrugged, or if you've heard that it's a literary disaster, I hope that you see that that's what that means. It's although I don't mind you critiquing the writing there, but I think it's pretty easy to get in the story. And if you want to question her craft, you need to read Fountainhead. This is a political action. Fountainhead is a love story, a beautiful one at that. It's truly some top-notch writing. So it's hard for me to even buy that argument, but it teaches us about shame. It teaches us about our inflammation, that if we're afraid of an idea, this is the idea that billionaires deserve compassion. This is the idea that not only do billionaires deserve compassion, but what would fucking happen if they decided they've had enough of us? And it's a tale that walks you through that scenario, and it's terrifying. It is terrifying. If you're in the proletariat is the cause of all things, you're going to fucking hate this book. If you're a Democrat, you're going to be like, this is burning my fingers, right? And some of you just may not like the writing. That's fine. Please forgive me for saying you can't do that. You can totally do that. That's okay. It asks, where would they go? And I've been using this word beyonders because where would they go? If people decided that we were too retarded, that we were too below them because we just didn't have enough sanctity. Where would these people go? And more importantly, just like I told you, a covert operation we would not see, I want you to understand that where they would go would be unanswerable to us. We would never know where they go. The second they tell us where they go, we would know where they live, and we would go there and we would ruin it. And that's already happened. And the hyena comes in, and that's what's going to happen. And the hyena wants you to believe in equality. The hyena wants you to believe that there's a law that says I'm allowed to go anywhere, access anything, say anything, and you don't get to be mad at me. And that's America. You're living in that hyena culture. It literally is, we are free. We have the freedom to say whatever we want. And we don't. Not only do we not have that, but it's the illusion that we do that creates the vagina that drags on the ground. It's Atlas Shrugged is a very deep sequel to I would say the Ubermensch. You're looking at Nietzsche with some boobies. It's a romantic position because romance is, I think, the only way you're going to find a posture, which is why I think Rand did such a good job on this thing. Most importantly, it really does, it never directly addresses, but it definitely hints very strongly at the idea of how can we join them? How can I join those people? They end up going to a place called Golden, Colorado. They are able to fly underneath a canopy that can't be seen. And they're able to create a world that the hyenic society doesn't know about. And they take their gold. They want their gold. They believe in the natural, fundamental, elemental authenticity of things. This is not a objection of evil. This is not an objection of darkness. This is really an embracement of authenticity. It is the despisal of facade, which is something that I've gained a lot of strength from myself. We've talked about this in Airship. And it's a kind of purity. It's an alchemical purity, I think, in a lot of ways. I'm not trying to preach this on you, but I want you to start to think about this idea because I think this has already happened. There is a Hopi tradition of the ant people, right? And the ant people were this race of people that were living underground. And that's probably why they were called the ant people, if you think about it. And that they lived underground because the outer world was going to go into a fallow or feral period. And it was necessary to separate themselves from this place. So I want you to see that there's this really strong similarity between Atlas Shrugged and the Hopi mythology. And you and I picture the ant people as, okay, well, they lived underground, so we would need to go to the caves. We'll go to Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, or we'll go out west, or we'll find all these places. We will go underground, and we will look for the ant people, and we haven't found them yet. We haven't found handicap rails. We haven't found secret underground bioluminescent lighting. We haven't found any kind of signs of civilization of something living underground. And the reason why we won't find them underground is because that's not the true nature of reality. The ant people lived underground so they could wait, and in order to live underground, what they did instead is they stayed in their world because they're masters, but they built a facade. And the facade was so attractive that all the other people went inside of that. Do you understand? And if you were one of the people that went inside this facade, if you were to log into this artificial space, let's call it society, let's call it a smart city, let's call it an apartment, let's call it a tiny home, okay? And that by moving into this tiny home, it became so luxurious that you just simply didn't leave. And not only did you not leave, but you kind of forgot that you were even in there. James, this sounds impossible. It's really not. It's actually more plausible than the idea of ant people going underground. In fact, it's so much more plausible that I think you and I developed the ant people going underground so we could swallow this thing. So we could truly swallow what this means. Because I think you and I are the are on the very last tippy toe edge of the organic people. I don't mean this even in a snooty way, because I definitely think silicon is organic. So I believe all this is natural. But you and I are dirt creatures. We're the last of those kinds. Most of our reality has been shaped or dilated by things that were happening in the organic world, or this other world around us. What's happening in real time is that there's another world that's being built on top of us, on top of you and me. So the sun's still there, but another world is being placed on top of us. Not only that, the people that are in this new world are creating whole new dilations inside there. See, the limbic witness that they feel, right? From falling in love, from watching something funny, from watching something sad. That's being planted in the soil of silicon. It's not in us. It's in the silicon. So it's light. This is light roots. These are the roots of light being stored. And any plant will grow as long as the soil just lets it be. That's really all soil is. Soil's like, I just want to let you be. And so the plant is testing the soil. Well, can I put my root here? And the soil's like, yeah, no problem. And that's memory. It's just storing memory. So the silicon pumice is the same type of pumice that you and I know as the soil. We just can't fathom this because we still think in objectivity. We are still under the paste of majoritarianism, where reality has been insisted upon us. And not only has it been insisted upon us, but we agree with it. This actually works out. We're like, I can handle this place. So we are the hoppy children that are actually living underground right now. This is what it would look like. It would look like this. Not only that, but there's a certain kind of two-way street. Because as we talk about Wetiko, we understand that what we would disparage as the evil whiteness that came to this land actually ended up being a sleeper cell, because so many people have woken up to the soil. So the very nature of the acidity, of Wetiko is that it's aerating the soil because it's so acidic, right? It's so acidic, we're aerating the soil. We are the eggs that hatch from the backs of the wasps of Wetiko. We are not Wetiko. Does that make sense? It's kind of creepy, right? But this is what Mossad does. This is what Calcenes do. Calcenius, Zeus would like to see you. Yes, Zeus. How may I help you? He's like, Calcenius, thank you for your help. I brought you here to help me move a couch. And Calcenius is like, but Zeus, you're the strongest, most powerful man in the world. Why are you asking me to help move a couch? And Zeus says, because I heard that you're the person who's pretty good at moo. You have the power of moo. God, that's such a horrible. God, what did you just do? I should just end it. Sorry. This is hard to think about. And if you want to really see through what Atlas Shrugged was, it doesn't have to just be about that. But if you want to really see what we're talking about, this is difficult. But if you really want to see, just hear this. Maybe close your eyes. Because it's only fraud if you lie to yourself about why you pay taxes. We're going to call it fraud. We're going to call all the evil, quote, quote, things that we're seeing that are being uncovered in the world. USAID, it's horrible stuff. It's legit and it's horrible. But it's also not really fair to call it fraud. This is the facade. These are the ant people. This is the difference between the people that are living underground. I'm telling you, guys, if you can see this point, you will be able to live underground. You will be able to maybe you don't want to live underground, that's fine. But if you can see this point, you're going to understand how this reality works. Excuse me, I'm trying to figure this. I want to do it. Wait, like that. If you can see this point, you're going to be able to understand what it's like to be the beyonder. This is how you become a beyonder. If you want to know how to get to Golden, Colorado in Atlas Shrugged, it's in this meme. It's not the best meme. I'm in my 50s. I don't know how to make memes. Old kids are like, who is this old man making these memes? It's fine. I get it. I only need one of you. And if you want to understand what the Beyonder sees, it's this, because it's not the tax man. You and I love to say it's the IRS that's out to get us. It's the IRS that's here to do it. But you pay taxes out of fear. Do you fear the IRS? You will say you do. Well, yeah, because I fear the IRS. Some of you are like, I just love paying taxes. I don't agree. I don't disagree with you. I really don't. I think that this reality is so complex. I like where you're at. So please just give me a sec to talk to everyone else. Okay? It's okay. I believe you too. I really do. But I think that you're paying taxes because you're afraid. And when I put this on Reddit, people got really mad because they're like, I'm not afraid. It's not fear. They actually put people in jail. And I'm like, yeah, and you're afraid you'll go to jail. No, that's not true. I'm not afraid to go to jail. They will put me in jail. And it's like, guys, you don't fall off a cliff because you're afraid. There's nothing about the cliff that's stopping you. So even the fact that you hit the ground, that didn't stop you. None of that stopped you from falling off a cliff. The only thing that stops you from falling off a cliff is fear. And you guys are wandering around insisting that you don't have any fear, that you have no fear. And this is why hyena fits. Because this is not even a shame. We pay taxes because we're afraid. Even saying this is step one of the Hermetic pyramid, guys. I swear to fuck. Some of you guys are like, James, this is easy. No, it's not. Post this on Reddit. Watch how people get so upset about you suggesting that they have emotion. Okay? So if you can go past this step, because I don't want to assume that some of you guys are even able to get past this step, and it's okay. I want to see how long it takes. I want to watch you walk, and I'm here. I am here. We're going to watch you walk. I have covered every corner in this house with pillows and duct tape. Every single corner, every single sharp thing that I could get rid of has been subdued. I have placed plastic little slots inside of the electrical outlets because I want to see you walk. And if you want to go to Golden, Colorado, because I want to get there too, and frankly, I need a ride. I'm thinking we can work together, split some gas, post an ad in Craigslist, like smear the camera and take this really obscure picture and say, hey, two people that see reality in a very different way are looking for a ride to Las Vegas. Will you give us a ride? And just see who fucking calls. That's adventure. This is a work of consciousness. But back to the story. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, taxes. You pay taxes out of fear. If you can get past that level, then you're ready for this next level, because check it out. You're not afraid of the IRS. You are not afraid of the IRS. You are afraid of the taxpayers. It's the taxpayers that are going to punish you. Please hear this. It is the taxpayers that are around you. They are noticing that you are not being punished like they are, and they are going to punish you. They're not going to reward you for doing this. All of the ideals that you've had in your mind, that the way to be the hero is to do this and to abolish your fear and just to accept whatever consequences are going to bring, is going to show you a truth that I think you already know, which is that it's not the IRS, it is the taxpayers that are truly behind the violence that will be done to you for not obeying. This is if you can taste this, if you can hold this posture and go, holy fuck. If it doesn't amaze you, that's okay. But if you can hold this posture and go, yeah, that's true, you're already there. You're there. You fully understand, because you profoundly see how crucial it is that we strap something to the front of the car and blame it. So we chase each other with the tax man because we do not want to admit that we live in a cannibalistic society, that we cannibalize each other for trying to stand up. All the analogies I've given you about the pit, this is why. The second that you try and climb out of the pit, someone who is called a hero of people in the pit, the hero of the people in the pit, the most popular people in the pit, are telling you how deep the pit can be. They are showing you the darkest corners of the pit and saying to you, we should clear away the rubbish and the debris so we can see this pit even more clearly. And these people are the most popular because of what I'm telling you. All the truth is here. Taxation is protection insurance from a cannibalistic society that calls itself good. That's a huge one. And it gets you directly into the plane. You are flying with all your gold in the back seat. Some of you guys may not know what I'm talking about, and it's okay. But you're flying with all the gold in the back seat. Your Cessna's just freaking jumping around. You're just like, how the fuck am I going to get there? And it doesn't matter because you're not going to stay because it is gross. Watching is so gross. And when you see how easy it is, you have respect for Mossad. You have respect because they're the only people that are looking at you. It's the closest thing that you've ever had to real witness is the person that understands how to control the population with an apple penis. By the way, every show is going to be demonetized through these things, and I just want to say thank you. I feel totally confident doing that. All the super chats, people joining Patreon. I just want to say thanks. It's really just allowed me just to say whatever I want to say. I don't want the algorithm to like censor the show, right? But I just want to point that out that I feel so much more confident because of all the super chats. People do not like to hear this. And I see in chat, probably jokingly, that your mistake is going to Reddit. And I agree. However, I don't think I'm compassionating the hyena enough. And so I've been going back into Reddit because I need to see what happens when you say things like this. I want to watch how the obfuscation cuts off the propeller that I've just made. I want to take that and go, you know what? I tried 3 props. I'm going to try 4 now. And my job is to make mincemeat of hyena. I don't mind. But also, there's really no win, right? It's if I trank a few of them, it's not really like a victory. What I'm more interested in is watching them work, and more importantly, knowing it like Mossad does exactly what to throw at the hyena to see where they go. I want to do this because I just want to compassionate the Beyonder as much as I can. I want to compassionate the person who left. I want to compassionate them because I want to know where the fuck they went. I want to know. And I'm under the impression that if I can compassionate them and find that posture, that I might actually just be able to track them. And by tracking them, I would be able to infiltrate their space. And if I could infiltrate their space, I could pretend to be one of them. And if I could pretend to be one of them long enough, through the principle called regulation, I would become one myself. I would become Zoroaster, just like they are. And I would need to leave a realm where people are clubbing and stoning each other for suggesting there could be more than one Jesus. I would need to leave the realm where people are stoning and clubbing each other for suggesting that maybe science isn't true. And science isn't true. Science is the study of what people know. And what people know is always proven wrong by the study of science. And this is just showing you just one of the many, many ways that it's retarded. And more importantly, it's showing you how nice it is to have someone like Mossad actually see me. I don't think that Mossad is talking to you and me, but I think that when you're watching something happen so outright out in the open that it really invigorates you because your enemy is no longer your enemy. Your enemy is giving you the medicine you need to see this outer church, to see this hyena. And when you see this, you understand where you came, and you can start to apply the shame you've given every single else that you've done in order to gain your growth, because you scry these feelings. The feelings that you have should be scried, not cried. You should scry them because they are fingers in the dark. And so the shame that you feel because you have fear of the IRS is going to stop you from seeing what I just told you, which is that you're not afraid of the IRS. You're afraid of all the other hyena, and you're one of them. And you're going to attack anyone who tries to climb out of the pit because it's going to ruin it for you. It's going to give away our position as we hide. The lion's going to see us all because he's going to know there's one of us that have gotten out of the pit. So we need to dig this pit deeper so we can convince everyone that the deeper we go, the safer we get. This is the truth movement. And don't worry, it's not just the truth movement. It's all politics. It's all religion. It's all ethnicity. It's all society. It's all fashion. It's all music. It's all literature. It's all thought. It's everything that we talk about. This is what it is. It's a chemical expression. It's chemical. When you look at it from a chemical standpoint, it becomes, I think, a lot easier to just see it fairly. It doesn't matter why COVID happened in the sense of what was the intent. A lot of us are dealing on the level of, well, what is your conscious intent? And so when we insist that everything is intended, that is true, this is what we mean by, well, I didn't mean to do it. I understand why we have a society that believes I didn't mean to do it. But also when you have I don't mean to do it, you're also creating a blindness where every single thing that you cannot prove was consciously meant to be done doesn't count. And when you have that, you're missing the principle of synchronicity and fractal resonance because these things are in the soil. I'm not trying to be fancy with words. I'm really not. That there's something that keeps reoccurring, like Abraham Lincoln and JFK, right? All those similarities, just uncanny similarities. All the fractals between Mesoamerican culture and the two-party system in Washington, D.C. The fact that we have a jaguar now that's rising in wings when the very first thing that started this off was a jaguar, and that the Aztecs talked about this four-coursed circle that's a spiral. If you look at the Aztec stone, the very symbol in the middle is actually this Luciferian. It's actually the Venus. I'm just calling it that because it's about Venus, but it's four corners with an arrow pointed up. That arrow pointed up means ascension. It's showing you the spiral. And so if you look back in history, you see the spiral of this place. And if you can take off the realm where everyone who's better than you is evil and everyone who's worse than you is better, did you hear what a fucked up manipulation that is? Every single person that's more successful than you is a Luciferian pedophile who's trying to kill you, and everyone who's worse off than you is just a better person. This isn't something that's a liberal ideal. Yeah, we have an Olympic race to the bottom on the left, but we have it on the right too. We have it on the right too. You get what I mean. I'm not going to waste time on there. But I want you to understand that if you want to look at what's happening in Rockefeller Plaza, yeah, you can be afraid. You could be like, this is fucked up, or these guys are insane. They're putting masks on Rockefeller. Or you could just listen. What is the wind telling you? What is the Ukatena telling you? Because time is a river. And carved into the time, you and I are animizing time the same way the Native Americans animized water. Meaning that it's ubiquitous to us, and you're missing some of the most important facets of these creatures that are alive. And one of the creatures that is alive is Zarathustra, is Zoroaster, this god that required every single person to cover their face before it could enter the room. That the priests, the people that were following the god, the people that believed in the COVID were following the fractal resonance of Zarathustra. And what is Zarathustra bringing, guys? It's bringing the Ubermensch. It's bringing the higher vibration of you. And this is a meiosis and a mitosis, which we talked about yesterday, and a mitosis, which we spoke about yesterday. So the exact same thing would be, it'd be a gauntlet, wouldn't it? It'd be a gauntlet, a test. And anyone who doesn't want to go through is going to be terrified. And anyone who's not is going to be able to go, hey, I think the Beyonders went in here. I think that's where they went. They cover the mouth to summon Zarathustra, the Uberman. They rode the eagle, America. Guys, it only doesn't make sense if you're like, there has to be one little guy who's like, I turned the tunic crystals. And that's just, you just got a control fetish. That's all. There's no control in chemical. There's no control in chemical. You're a chemical soup. There's no control. You could say it's determined, but that doesn't mean there's control, right? You could say eventually entropy will kick in and all this will just be the same. Or you could say, you know what, that doesn't happen. Probably what's going to happen is all the heavy crystals are going to fall to the bottom and all the cream's going to go to the top. And I need to decide which way I want to go. Do I want to go towards the light? Do I want to go against it? I mean this, and I don't know which one's right for you. A lot of people are like, you have to exit the cave by peeing in the light and saying, fuck you, light. And it's just like, yeah, or it could just be, just trust your heart. You're going to judge yourself. Anubis, your best friend's going to be there. You're only we only say Anubis is scary because we're afraid to die. But when you get there, it's going to be your favorite dog. And it's going to be, man, you're back. I missed you. And you're like, I missed you too. And you start crying your fucking eyes out. You're going to start crying your eyes out. And Anubis is like, let's look at your heart. Let's weigh your heart. Let's weigh your heart. Come on, let's weigh your heart. And you're like, okay. And he's like, here, come over here. Here's the scale. Let's put it on. Let's see what you get. Let's see what you get. And there's an ostrich feather and there's your heart. And he's like, let's do it. And you're not scared. It's your dog. Right? Everything you've done in your life, all your regrets, all your honor, all the things that you did that weren't regrets, it's all there. Compiling your source code into a single crystal. How do I store this in a little tiny bag of sand in my pineal? How do I crystallize all this, all the matrix of my life, into this holographic crystal that's in a bag? And I'm going to hand that bag to the ferryman and say, can I cross the river Styx? And he's going to go, let me see your bag of coins. And he's going to open your pineal. He's going to look at them. He's going to go, this is enough. This is enough. You paid enough, you can cross the river. And you get in the boat, and then something happens. You're like, oh, fuck. You get in the boat, he's like, where do you want to go? And you're like, oh, my God. Are you fucking serious? Are you serious? And ferryman's like, dude, where do you want to go? It's like, man, let's just go. Let's just go. And you start hearing bells. Boom. You start hearing music. You are floating out of the epiphysis, this chamber of the brain. Cranial spinal fluid is really the essence of who you are. You're this rendered chemical equation of angst. And what is angst? It's just molecules that are formed in a certain way that you're like, I insist I must be this way. That's all a molecule is, just a big old insistence, a quantum insistence, right? It's like, I insist on myself. I am a noble gas, says helium. Right? Oh, a piece of carbon, says carbon. These are fractals. I love looking at Rockefeller Plaza because I think the Beyonders are there. I think the Beyonders are there because this is like a massive node in the brain. This is Orion's brain. And they own one of the most important neurons in the body. So why would I not watch it? Why would I not learn from them? And then when you see the Oracle, this was a statue that was placed a few years ago in there. And it's very mesmerizing. It's it's like an African child sort of motif, but it's more like a god child for those of you listening. And he's holding a single torch. The only thing on the torch, the only coloring in this black shape is the flame itself. And it certainly looks like Prometheus, but it also conveys this idea that there's a light in Africa. That's what I see. And the light in Africa is what the Beyonder would say, because he's compassionating all of Gaia. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, guys. I'm not here to tell you that they're here to save you. Nature's not fucking here to save you. Nature is your network administrator. Nature's here to go, I gave you that IP. Are you going to use it or not? If you don't want that IP, I'm going to give it to someone else, man. Someone else is dialing in right now. You know, nature's going to say, yeah, your 14 baud modem's not going to work on our network anymore. And you're like, how dare you? I have AOL. I have 16 discs that I pulled out of the trash for hours on AOL. And you're saying I can't live anymore? And then nature's like, no, we've expanded our network. And you're like, that's bullshit. And she's like, I know, that's why you can't stay. She's not here to help you. She's not here to make you survive. She's here to watch you survive. She's here to witness you. You're allowed to write to the machine. You can write to any pixel in this world. You can go up to it and write it. You can go up to any pixel. You can steal it. You can crush it. You can set it on fire. You can put it up your butt. You can swallow it. You can run away and create a relic from it. You can shoot someone in the face and say, this is the most important thing. You can put a bunch of these things inside a building called Fort Knox and watch the whole world fucking stare as you pull a Geraldo. Where you're like, we're going to open the vault tonight because the deep state exposed, the deep state found the gold. They're going to show it to you. And the whole time you're just like, well, God, this is fucking mesmerizing. And Mossad's like, yeah, bitches, I know. That's why you keep watching. This is our Tower of Babel. Our Tower of Babel is news. It is AP. It is Reuters. And it is pounding. And people are just like, I want more. I want more. I want more. And the second one of us says, I don't want to pay taxes anymore. It's not the AP or Reuters that punishes you. It's culture. Culture's like, oh, you don't know about Harambe? Oh my God, well, I guess I can't really relate to you because you don't know about Harambe. And you're just like, who the fuck is Harambe? And then you start to realize that no one who's talking about Harambe actually has compassion for Harambe. That he's just a dead freaking carcass that's like strapped to the front of a car, and everyone's like, I believe in animal rights, and you're just like, what a fucking sicko. What a sicko. And it's only from you seeing the fieldings that you feel this is a sick society, that I can trust you, that a beyonder would go, oh my God, that guy's one of us. Wow. Oh, I hope he makes it. That's probably what they're doing, because they're like, well, we can't save him. I was gonna fuck it up. Is he gonna make it? James, you're going to make it? No, James, you're shooting yourself in your foot. Oh, James, you didn't have the right posture. Man, I thought James was going to make it. I thought he was going to make it. The Beyonders are there. They're the hope. They're living underground. They're living underground in the light of day. This is how it works. And society is encrusting this pile of scarab dung that's creating these new Pueblo holes. And we're going to build a whole new civilization. And Elon Musk is fucking leading the way. You know, but I don't like Elon Musk. Good, maybe you're worthy. Isn't Elon kind of like the perfect test? It's sort of like if you picture that basically he's just like making everyone lick his butt. And anyone who's like, all his rocket does is land on its butthole. That's all it's ever done. That's the only thing he's innovated, is there's a rocket that lands on his butthole. That's it. And so you could think that everyone would have to do that. And this is the idea of kissing Mephistopheles on the anus. It's the same thing. This is why it tastes bad. This is why only 1.6% of you are going to see. I don't mean this for our audience, but I'm just trying to say a very small percentage of people are even going to see what I mean about Epstein and Mossad. Or even going to see what I mean, that it's actually the taxpayers. It's actually the taxpayers that are the ones that are employing violence against you. That those are the ones that are doing it. The IRS is literally like, I'm not even going to tell you how much you owe me. It's like, why don't you write it down and send me a bill? And if you write it down and send me a bill, all your neighbors are not going to fuck with you. This is an insurance policy for protection. It's not a fraud. We call it a fraud because we don't want to admit that we're paying off a mafia to not fuck with us. And the mafia is us. It's not them, it's us. We're literally paying society, hey, can you please not come and just take my house? And the rest of society is, well, yeah, but it's going to fucking cost you. That's not fraud. That's not fraud. No. Fraud is telling yourself that it's the IRS. Fraud is telling yourself that we're in this together. Fraud's telling yourself that Bernie Sanders makes sense. And yes, some of you committed fraud. I get it. The dude was very like, he's like a bird. Hey, watch me, I'm a fucking bird. I get it. The dude's fucking cute as hell. Who would want to vote for a bird? A bird landed on his podium. This is the megalodon tooth that I speak about. This is why when I spoke about the megalodon tooth and how you could rule Turtle Island, that I said it would depend on how big it is. What if an eagle fucking landed on the podium when Bernie Sanders was talking? You guys still with me? Because I'll tell you, first thing that happened, Bernie Sanders would shit his pants. That's the first thing that would happen. You guys admit it. He would. Dude would have an accident. It would scare the shit out of him. All right? That's the first thing. Okay? Second thing, the eagle would probably say something in the mic. Because it's a fucking eagle, right? So the eagle's not just going to land on a podium and have everyone's attention and not say anything, right? So the eagle's going to say something. He's going to say something in eagle, so none of us are going to understand it, right? All right. I hear you, Kevin. Kevin will understand it, but no one else will. But that's all that matters, says the eagle, right? But he's going to land there and he's going to say, I'm going to tell you about peace now. And everyone's like, okay, tell us about peace. He's like, we're going to have an iron dome. We're going to tax the shit out of all of you. We're going to tell you you're free. And then we're going to prod around an Epstein guy so you feel that you caught us. And you're going to buy it. Are there any questions? And no one's got a question. People are like, dude, I am voting for that eagle. That was impressive. We do not vote for truth. We vote for comfort, and that's okay. Because this is the equation. This is your triangle, baby. You're here making a triangle. You're here making a triangle. So let's think about the cathedral. Let's think about the triangle. The triangle is the shape from which you live. The shape has to be big enough, but not too big. You're like a goldfish. Your consciousness is a goldfish. You're going to want a perfect amount of space. This is why you might covet a reef if you're a tiny little thing. This is why you want to go into the deep if you're a cephalopod or a megalodon. So you build your own tank. And if you build your own tank, the only way to build the tank is to create two surfaces, the top and the bottom. And the top's going to be the most holy thing that you could possibly imagine. And the bottom is going to be the most evil thing that you can possibly imagine. And this is your fish tank. And your job is to stay within this fish tank. And if you grow a bigger consciousness, you're going to outgrow your fish tank, and people around you are going to get mad at you. They're going to accuse you of change. They're going to suggest that for some reason you're not supposed to change. They're going to call you a rebel. They're going to ridicule you, and the ridicule is exactly the fuel that you need to grow bigger. These are fish flakes. And you eat the fish flakes of ridicule, and you learn how to process the nutrients. At first you're like, I don't fucking like fish flakes. These are gross. And you're like, this is like dead skin from these people. And you're like, I know, but I want to get out of here, so I will eat more people. So you're practicing cannibalism in the land of cannibals, which means you have to come over the shame of even doing that. And this is part of what makes you a beyonder, because the beyonder needs shame. It'd be the only way that shows you how shame works, because shame is the sonar. It's the scryings over you. Your feelings are what you want. You want to feel shame, but not like in a you're bad shame, but in a more of like, ooh, should I have said that? This is what you want. You want to, ooh, should I have said that? This is a subtle field of electricity. And you kind of can spread it out and bring it back in. You can spread it out and bring it back in. And your shame, if you can feel it at all times, you know the size of the room. You can analyze if your butt crack's showing. All these things are happening that way. And it's just one of 7 bubbles, right? There's a lot of bubbles. Some of you only got 3. Some of you got 17. Pretty impressed, right? And you grow these bubbles and you destroy these bubbles. And society tells you, take off that bubble. How dare you have pride? They do that. They fucking do that. They say, well, pride is satanic, says the Truth Movement. They literally say that. Ego is bad, says the Truth Movement. If everyone would drop their ego, all of us would live in harmony. We would. Because the IRS is the bad guy, not us. This is what it looks like. I'm sorry, I'm making fun of those people. But that's the posture. If you want to get in that posture, you have to go, You kind of have to like squeeze this. I don't want to make that face. So look at Rockefeller, because the fact that you're seeing something's dilating means you're in the right space. You're finding the right pollen. Look at Rockefeller. Look at it. Oh my God, there's a jaguar. See, they're trying to take over the world. And it's like, yeah, look at that. There's a jaguar. They're trying to take over the world. These are 2 things. One is the most holy thing you can imagine. The other is the most evil thing you can imagine. And you and I are living in consciousness in between. You're going to need this consciousness, which means sometimes you're going to be able to upgrade. You're like, I'm not terrified enough of a jaguar. Can you come up with a jaguar with wings? And our psyche's like, hang on. And it pulls it off. And we come up with a jaguar with wings. And all these things actually expand our tank. Fear expands our tank. That's why so many rebel when they see you do it. That's why when I say something like, guys, we're afraid of each other. We're not afraid of the IRS. You get such a push. You get the pushback from that. You get a pushback from that. This is why we follow charlatans. The charlatan limits our tank. And if you're terrified of how much water's there, you're going to find a limited tank very popular. There's nothing wrong with this, guys. This is the civilization of hyena, and a hyena is an important thing. Hyena is the only way you're going to move. It's the only way you're going to turn into something else. And the fact that you might find this disgusting, I think is actually something to be proud of, because it's another fielding, and that fielding is actually your wake. Because everything that you find disgusting, I want you to imagine you're actually zooming away from. To abhor something in the chemical world is to simply look and see that you are moving, that you are being propelled away from the thing. The emotional response to that vector movement, picture that you're actually moving all the time, even though you think you're stationary. You're moving in a chemical language, a chemical tank. And so if you feel abhorrent to something, you are chemically moving away from this space, right? You're chemically moving away from this space. It's showing you the vortex around you. You're seeing the terrain that you've never been able to see before. And this is why I like the Beyonders, because they're helping. Guys, this is what's in Rockefeller Plaza right now. You're watching James True Live. This is what's in Rockefeller Plaza right now. It's 5 masks, and they've been removed from the face. The statue in Rockefeller Plaza is the masks removed. It's ripping off the mask, and it's showing you the world, the 5 continents, the terror that has been portrayed, and the truth that what's underneath is just rubble, destruction, fear, and desire to survive. And to me, that this is not what an evil person would do. This is an evil person, quote, quote, because they simply have more wake. The orca is evil because it scares the shit out of you. The IRS is evil because the taxpayer scares the shit out of you. This is the unmasking because this is the gauntlet. This is what's necessary. And all the fear that you feel is actually veneration. It's just so hard to admit. It's so hard to admit that it's veneration. Right? It's so hard to admit. What is the mask of no mask? Great question, Edward Renee Sauce. I think that the mask is your IP address. I think if you have a mask in this world of face, then you have an IP. So I don't think it's possible to be in the world without a mask, because the mask is the world itself. It's truly at the heart of what you see. It's the triangled interface that's rendering in real time, and it's right in front of you. You know, we freak out when we see this in the Vatican. We're like, oh my God, that's in the Vatican. This is horrible. There are 7 continents. Thank you for the correction, Nico. There are 7 continents. I said there were 5. Yeah, guys, I don't know shit. I just told you there's 5 continents, right? Thank you for correcting me. Seriously, prune my lips, because that's where the berries are found. This is why when we show Moloch, when we put it in the Vatican, everyone's freaking out. And it's okay to freak out, but also you're looking at the vortex. You're like, wow, we used to do that. I find that abhorrent, you say. You say, I find that abhorrent, which means you're traveling away from it. And couldn't you use that as part of your tank building? If this is one of the most evilest things you can imagine, then you just define the bottom of your reef, and now you can live. Now you can stay alive in that place, right? So yeah, I'm with you on that, Kadam. But it's more of a lesson of just being correctable. I'm just saying that's how I'm taking it. I mean, I could have maybe tried to, but it's like no, it's cool. There's 7. It's 7. There's 5 Olympic rings, 7 continents. There's 12 nodes. There's 12 cranial nerves. There's actually a 13th nerve. I'll have to tell you about it sometime, but some of you guys don't know about it. But we're all learning this place. Hey, let's play this because, wow, should I end the show? Should I do that? I could do a whole show just on this, I think. This is, actually, we'll play this. Free speech needs boundaries. Without boundaries, a very small group of people can rely on endless freedom to say anything that they want, while everyone else is scared and intimidated, says Josephine Ballin, CEO of Hate Aid Berlin. Yes, she's in charge of a group called Hate Aid in Berlin. Let's hear it in her own words.
The criticism that, this feels like the surveillance that Germany conducted 80 years ago. How do you respond to that?
There is no surveillance.
Josephine Ballon is a CEO of Hate Aid, a Berlin-based human rights organization that supports victims of online violence. In the United States, a lot of people look at this and say, this is restricting free speech. It's a threat to democracy.
Free speech needs boundaries. And in the case of Germany, these boundaries are part of our constitution. Without boundaries, a very small group of people can rely on endless freedom to say anything that they want, while everyone else is scared and intimidated.
And your fear is that if people are freely attacked online, that they'll withdraw from the discussion.
This is not only a fear, it's already taking place. Already half of the internet users in Germany are afraid to express their political opinion and they rarely participate in public debates online anymore. Half of the internet users.
So she just said that we have to stop certain people from talking because everyone is afraid of being able to speak. I'm not kidding. She just said that. And this is how the IRS works. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I fear the person that doesn't pay their taxes, so we need to punish them because that's not right. It's not about raising yourself out of this place. It's making sure that everyone is being punished equally. This is the mode of hyena because it's called democracy. Democracy is that all of us must be punished equally because we've established this obsession with the balance of things. The Themis, the Lady Justice, is simply an unatanka in thought because it's shaping our culture into this majoritarianism, and majoritarianism would be the only way to satisfy a weak ego that doesn't have itself. So the hyena needs majoritarianism, which is why it has this gang warfare that blames things like the IRS. Guys, the Jews just got their home like literally they just got it Saturday. They just got it Saturday, and already the Germans are like, we need to fucking burn some speech. We need to fucking burn some speech. They're already doing it. No offense, but seriously, they're already doing it, okay? There's no learning from these things because they weren't mistakes. There's no learning from these things because they weren't mistakes. Let's take a look at this. We are going to extend the show because I'm just going to go ahead and go for this. I hope you guys appreciate it. But, yeah. Here we go. Hopefully, maybe I'll cut this out and put it in a separate thing, but this is actually the presentation that I took a while to get to. If you think about Nazi book burning, this is already happening right now. The J.D. Vance, the conservative right, people like Charlie Kirk, are saying we have to return to a place where we will burn all literature that has anything to do with homosexuality, sexuality, and self, gender, anything having to do with the eighth gland. Anything having to do with the eighth gland. If you're a man, you're missing one gland. If you're a woman, you're missing one gland. And those gonads or ovaries, both of them are balls. Just some are in different places. Both of them are balls. So you've got a twins within twins is the ovaries and the gonads. And that we are constantly, throughout history, all the way back to Hermes in Greeks and Rome, this is not a new thing. We've had this idea where we freak out and we start going, oh my God, this is insane because we're missing ovaries. And this causes a lot of tension, and frankly, it's a really good way of creating war. And one of the ways we created war, honestly, was because of this gonad difference in World War II. And it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a mistake because you're looking at the culture in Germany as a singular thing, that you think that every single person that was there and they were burning the books, every single person that was practicing Nazism was doing there because they believed in Nazism. And this is the biggest folly you can make. This is the folly of the majoritarian because you're insisting that everyone would have to believe, and that's not how this works at all. Okay? You need 1.6% of them to believe. You need 1.7% of them to believe. You need 38 of them to be told you will be punished if you criticize something. But at no point do you need anyone or everyone there to believe. And if you really want to tap into what humanity is, think about it in terms of the shallowest witness possible and apply that as your default. And then you will only be happy when you see people going deeper. So find your shallowest position possible. These are people that have a tertiary look at something, right? They just see one thing. Just throwing this out, please forgive me. Maybe this is a horrible example because I don't even know what I'm going to say. But a drunk lady is outside arguing with her man. Maybe the man is sober, and she just slapped him, and so he's grabbed her by the shoulders and is hoping to calm her down. And you just drive by and you're like, that guy's beating that woman, and you start yelling, hey, fuck you. It's like there's a lot of context, right? It's like a lot of context. The shallowest witness would be, what do I want to feel today? And if you want to feel that women are in danger of being hit by men and you saw this is the perfect way for your neuron to fire, right? For you to finish the appetite that you have. This is so important to understanding the hyena inside of me. I'm saying me because I want you to know this is not a sermon. This is how you find the beyonder. I need you to find your shallowest form of witness and see it everywhere for a while, and then understand you're going to cater to that sometimes. That sometimes you're going to place the template of what you need chemically onto the environment so you can just express it. So you'll express it by saying, taxes are evil. See, I do it. You express it by saying, Musk is a idiot. See, I do it. You could express it by any way that you want because that's the shallowest witness. If you want to go deeper, then you're looking at a 7 layers of neuron depth, believe it or not, inside the skin of the brain. One who's like, how do we know it's not 5? And I'm like, you got me. It could be 5. But like these depths of neurons really would correspond to a deeper kind of witness. Deeper witness would be the black sun we talked about. You're going to watch Fauci through 7 generations quietly. Fauci's not parading himself. He's not having affairs. He doesn't have a gun and a laptop. He's not being caught with Israeli blah, blah, blah. He's just sitting there quietly. That's who you want. That's who you want to watch. That's the deeper witness. It's a black sun witness. And all the truth movement's going to be running more on comfort, not necessarily on truth, which is okay. But you're going to be able to use that to discern what's not necessary. It can be a lot of apple penises out there, not going to lie to you. It could be a lot of Pizzagates out there, not going to lie to you. You're going to find underneath it, there's people like Peter Thiel. And you don't like Peter Thiel. I get it. I don't like him either. You're just like, oh, that guy's kind of weird looking. But you notice that he's always in the right fucking place. You're just like, that dude's always in the right place. Doesn't mean he's a good guy. It does mean that he's closer to the beyonder than the people that are like, we have to get Epstein. Those people are as far away from the beyonder as you can imagine, my ladies and gentlemen, because it's shallow witness. And you know it's shallow witness because none of us know a fucking thing. All we know is what we've been told by a singular Miami reporter. That's it. That's all we know. But James, it's all corroborated. No, all that's corroborated is that people who have a lot of money like to have sex and party and get drunk. Big fucking deal. If I was to show the senior party and what you did in the closet with who you think was a girl or whatever the fuck it is, right? That the same thing could happen to you. That if we wanted to pariacate you, that it would be easy. There's plenty of wood for that fire. You know that. Let's try and go deeper. Let's really try and go deeper. Berlin stages huge bonfire. 15,000 students burn 20,000 un-German books in ceremony. This is happening right now. Look at their faces. Are they evil? These people are like, we believe in this idea. Or are they just finding each other? Like, look again. I've removed the text from their signs. I've shown you the sacred tree of the Sephiroth because I just want you to understand that if you were to raise your right hand, you would be appealing to the All-Father. It's just a Kabbalistic kind of like body sort of focus. If you were to consider that your body is a circuit or a mouse that taps into a computer of Gaia, if you were to raise your right hand and not your left, you would be swearing on the Father. You'd be swearing on the All-Father. If you were to raise your left hand instead of your right, you'd be swearing on the Mother or the All-Mother. If you were to place your father and together, you'd be praying on fertility. You'd be praying on the atom, because you've combined the male and the female together. Not the atom as in the particle atom, although you could go there if you want, but the atom Cadmon, the atom before he was cleaved. And so if you start to look at the mudras of people, this is a mudra. These are people that are celebrating the Father at a bonfire. And they're smiling because they're meeting each other. They're meeting each other because there's community. They went for the community. They went for the bonfire. They went for the hot dogs. They went for the drum circle. They went for the networking. Some of them went because they wanted to experience the vortex dynamics of a large bonfire when it's burning pulp. Honestly. 2 guys went there for that. Like, we will go to bonfire, study vortex dynamics. Yes, we will bring instruments and we will measure these vortex dynamics because it's a perfect opportunity. And there's friends there, there's dancing there, there's drum circles there, there's bonfires there, there's hot dogs there. Archaic is a giant place that dude fucking lies. He like literally like pretends Sitchin is like some academic and he doesn't tell anyone that. And you know what? It's okay because he's a burning books. And people are finding each other. I want people to find each other. And one of the hardest things it took for me to realize to step out of hyena is understand that hyena need lies. They need this. The bonfire is what brings people. It's not the truth. The movement itself is not what brought these people here. I guarantee you that the people that are burning these books probably didn't even read them. They came down for the bonfire, the hot dogs, the drum circle, the friends, the dancing, the vortex dynamics, and the networking. That's what they come down for. Someone came down there because they're like, I'm going to steal some food. I'm going to pickpocket. You have natal consciousness at the bottom. These are people that are simply living on a prepubescent sort of process. They are id, they are species, they are name, but they just do not have enough oomph to really step out and start to carve their own identities. Nothing wrong with that. They're natal. It's good. Then you have power consciousness. These are ones that I need power in my world. I will gain consciousness by gaining power, which means I know that if I touch this, my hand will be burned. And I know if I go over here, I will lose. And I know if I challenge this person, I will win. All these things are the very base root of if I grab this thing, I can squeeze it. If I break this thing, I can kill it. And this is a very low level of consciousness. It's just simply a way of understanding. Your sentience is growing through the natal into the power, into the mortal. The very next thing is actually the idea you could die. This is a huge understanding. I could die from this thing. The baby's afraid of falling. The baby's afraid of heights. The baby's afraid of loud noises. These things come in different places. Different items come online, and they're all going to be fieldings. They're all going to be fieldings that are simply just pounded over and over again in the brain, that the brain consciously develops an awareness of them. And then you start to get into social consciousness. And social consciousness is such a huge form of consciousness because there's acceptance, there's rejection, there's cliques, there's fashion, there's charlatanism, there's elitism, there's separatism, there's anti-culturalism. There's literally something called goth, where you're like, well, what are you a goth? And you're like, so I'm goth, but it's like I totally accept society. I like wearing my seatbelt. I shop at Walmart, but I'm goth. And you're like, how is that possible? And you're just like, just go with it. And once you do, it all makes sense. It really does make sense because it's just a different hertz. These are all different hertz. None of these are wrong. None of these are right. Some of these are more expensive than others, but more expensive isn't right. The Ferrari is really one of the most piss poor cars ever made. Literally catches on fire if you turn on the air conditioning. A total piece of shit. Yet it is considered the most expensive, most exotic car that ever existed. Archetypal consciousness. These are people that they're no longer the self because they have more witness if they become an archetype. Whether they become a speaker or an icon or a truth teller or whatever else it is, people start to dehumanize them. And when they're dehumanized, really what's happening is they're starting to be raised up into this archetypal consciousness. And there's a lot of rejection there. It's not a very nice place to be. I don't like it. I don't like it at all because I lose freedom the second I'm pushed into archetypal consciousness, but I accept it. What I will not accept, no matter what you do, is accept my authoritarian consciousness. If you're going to put me in authoritarian consciousness, I'm going to have a problem. I don't want to be your fucking leader. I don't want to wipe your fucking nose. And I don't want to do that because I'm noble. I don't want to do that because I don't trust you. You're going to blame me for shit. You're going to fucking hunt me down and say, you're the reason why we have this or we have that. You're going to fucking blame me for all your fucking problems. And no. I'm having too much fun here. Fuck your authoritarian consciousness. I will never grow from that. This is not going to happen. And the archetypal, the stronger I get archetypally, the more the authoritarian consciousness is forced on me. This is just my story. I think that you could see in all these that really it's just a spectrum. Ultimately, what you would be able to do is to go to the book burning and just witness humanity. This would be, I think, would be the highest form of consciousness. The Ferrari doesn't have air conditioning. Thank you, Lucky. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ferrari does not have air conditioning, so prune my lips. Pretty sure they start on fire, though. I've never actually been in a Ferrari, so I don't know shit. Thank you, Lucky. Then there's witness consciousness. There's this idea that you could be anywhere and just simply witness humanity. I've been getting really close to this because I can watch people that I totally disagree with, but I can, like, intellectually, or maybe I used to disagree with, but I can just watch it as like a natural process. It's a natural process. I'm not attached to things like being right. If someone corrects me, I deserve to be corrected. And if I deserve to be corrected and I show myself well in the face of correction, although Ferrari's a pretty minor thing. I'm talking about bigger things. Like you're afraid of the IRS, or you're afraid of taxes, or you're afraid of commitment, or whatever else it is, right? Now, the bigger things, they really start to show you your own witness consciousness. You just find yourself more. So I'm constantly finding myself more in that. This is kind of fucked up, but when Lucky corrected me, just like when the continent corrected me, it kind of felt good. It didn't feel bad. It felt good because I felt the splash hit my boat, and I was like, look at that, I'm still on course. Still on course. It was just wrong, that's all. It was just wrong. Ferrari's definitely catch on fire. There's engines in the middle. And, guys, it's not a good car. It's not a good car. You know all the kit cars that you're like, oh, that kind of looks like a cheap Ferrari. It's like, that's what a Ferrari is. That's what it is. That's what it is. I'm sorry. I'll let you know. It's too bad. I'll let you know. Yeah. But I really have no idea how Ferraris work, obviously. Guys, were we truly like trying to remove all the porn, or were we just obsessing over porn? Because German students and a Nazi SS member plundered the library of Dr. Magnus Hirschfeld, director of the Institute for Sexual Research in Berlin. Inside was a public library. The institute comprised approximately 10,000 mostly rare German and foreign books on the topics of sex and gender. All right. So this is, we must clean the porn. But what I see, look at these guys. I must study the porn, says the academic on the left. And the one on the right, I must control the porn on the right. And meanwhile, you're just looking at free porn. That's all. The book burning is just free porn. It's a bonfire of porn. Do you understand? Hey, what are you doing tonight? I want to go to a porn bonfire. Well, what? Yeah, I'm going to go to a porn bonfire. It's going to be porn there. It's going to be a bonfire there. And you're just like, I am fucking going. This is going to be fascinating. And this is all the church needs. This is why Epstein works. This is why Mossad knows you. Mossad knows you. They're like, hey, man, we got some porn, and we're going to burn it. And the whole world's like, oh, my God, we will vote for this. And we do. We do. We do. You understand? It's just free porn. And what happens when you burn free porn, guys? What happens when you burn free porn? Dr. Magnus Hirschfeld says, I will totally make some more porn then. Look at this. These guys love my porn. I will make more porn. So this doesn't help. And you know it doesn't help. The hyenas know deep down that it doesn't help. They know. They know deep down that it doesn't help. If they know it doesn't help, maybe they're not doing it to help. Bingo! Welcome to Beyond World. Parking's on the left. Here's your welcome basket. This is a muffin. We got a muffin in here. That's it. This is Beyonders. We're not here to like, you know, you gotta handle things yourself. But you get a muffin. That's good. And so you're looking at this all this stuff, guys. The hyena is doing exactly what he wants, and he's placing something in the front of the car to stop him in between. And meanwhile, what I think is happening, which I know a lot of people aren't, that's fine, but I think what truly is happening, in my opinion, is that we are missing this eighth gland. It's like Anunnaki stuff. We're missing this eighth gland. There's a piece of us that's missing. And we think that because it's missing, the world must be broken and we've been forsaken and all these other things. But I think actually what's happening is that just like you and I, we've done this collectively. I'm just sorry we have. We will fucking cut off the tail of a salamander, or the foot of a salamander, and watch it grow back. And we will change things about the salamander to see if it can learn to grow back faster. And then we'll try and take those cartilage from the sharks and all the other things, and or the velvet from the deer, and we'll be like, we want this paste, and we want to smear this paste into our thing. So we utilize the process of having something removed that used to be there to learn the process of regeneration. You are here learning regeneration because you've been placed into this test tube of fertility. Chemical fertility is causing you to develop the very glands that you were missing before. I didn't say physically, but I need you to know something that before we turn the frogs gay, which everyone's turned the frogs gay, I'm not arguing with that. I need you to know that before the frogs were gay, they were gay. Before they were gay, they had the ability to switch between genders, like sexes, that they had the ability to switch between sexes. And by switching between sexes, they were simply fulfilling the fish tank, the space they had and the space they need. They're like, I don't need to produce, there's plenty of us. Or I need to produce, there's plenty of us. This is, so yeah, it's true that they turn the frogs gay, but that's shallow witness. It's very shallow witness. And it's difficult in this world because if you try and be like me and say, I must educate everyone, it doesn't work. No one fucking wants to be educated. They want to chase Epstein. And you know what? I need you to forgive them. I need you to stop riding on a high horse and saying, well, I'm better than them, because I don't. This is a problem I have. You got to get down off that high horse. You got to sink into witness consciousness and say, I just find it profound that people are even looking at this thing. That's what's profound. You're going to find all your comfort there. You're not going to find it in we must remove the porn, or we must save the porn, or we must define the porn, or we must educate. No, you're just going to be like, this is fascinating. It's fascinating that all it takes to bring people together is we're going to burn some porn. We have a fire, we're going to have porn. Consciousness is coming online, but it's using others. It's using facade to come online. This is why I don't detest facade anymore. I'm not trying to judge these people, but if you could put these thoughts in their head, it would show you what I mean. That the first guy is standing here in public and he's experiencing the all the books that are burned in this memorial where it's a sunken bookshelf that's empty for those of you listening. And that the first guy feels like he's really enjoying the space and he's like, look how deep I look. He's experiencing the depth of this thing based on how others might see how deeply he contemplates a thing. He finds depth by noticing that other people are witnessing how deep he is, how deep he can be. And this is why we place these rituals out in the public. You go to the JFK Memorial to show off how veneratable you can be. And what I just said is insulting. People are like, how dare you say that? But it's the only this is why we do it. If you're truly mourning, you're not going to want anyone to see you. If you're truly in mourning, you're not going to want to engage with a camera or the public. This guy is not deeply moved. He feels that he looks as if he is deeply moved, and he has infiltrated a new kind of consciousness, and he's trying to fit in because if he does it well enough, he will simply regulate and become the beyonder that he used to be. This is an upward mobile trellis of consciousness. James, you're pulling a lot out of a photograph. I know, I do these things. What is she doing? Look how deep I feel. She's coming from a very different place. She has a parabola desire to feel this. She's not, look how deeply I look. She's, look how deeply I feel. She's confused about, do I feel this deep enough? Can I feel it deeper? Who am I? And what's in the middle? This could be deeper, frankly. My knees hurt, says the lady in the middle. My knees hurt. This could be deeper. How does that happen? She's been around. She's experienced things. She's had enough shallow witness that she's accidentally found the deeper things. How do you accidentally find deeper witness? Shit happens to you. Shit happens to you and you try and share it with people and no one understands. And welcome, you just found the deep place. And you begin your journey. You start to find the beauty of things like cobalt, right? The beautiful color of cobalt is blue. It is sad. It is depressing. And it makes you happy for some reason. It makes you happy because you're no longer at the level where you're at, look how deeply I look. This is the external becoming internal. It becomes internal because your nucleus grows strong enough. You're able to have this. So all the burning of porn is helping. I'm not here to say you shouldn't burn books. I'm here to say you should be fascinated when it happens. You should be fascinated and notice that it repeats and not complain. You shouldn't complain because nature is a lot smarter than you are. She is. Ultimately, I think we're doing good because of this. Ultimately, I think that the eagle's vision of peace is working, and it's only working because it's hanging on this very delicate string. That very delicate string is litera scripta manet. The written word remains. I cannot stress enough how important this is. And it doesn't need to come from a moral place, but it happens anyway, so I'm going to take it. I don't need intent. I need morality. And the eagle is practicing morality because he's following litera scripta manet. It is not necessary for us to judge what is happening now because, quite frankly, we do not have the equipment. But as long as the written word remains, as long as we're recording what's happening in this place, as long as we're recording that 47 countries have been invaded by a war eagle under a sign of peace, that as long as we're writing it down, all the hyenas still get to be free, they still get to have the world, but the fact that we're writing it down means that one day, there will be more with deeper witness, and they will find this thing. And when they find the record of what we've done, and they find the truth of every single thing that we've done, that there's 90,000 landmines in Cambodia. And right now we look at it as we're wasting money in Cambodia because we're giving them millions of dollars to make their younger population more communicative. This is a real thing that's in USAID. That I'm probably the only one that has deep enough witness to go, yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, until we get rid of 90,000 fucking landmines buried in their soil, I'm okay with giving them fucking money. If you want to liquidate it, if you want to run it through a pedophile ring, it's fine. As long as we have 90,000 fucking landmines in their soil, we need to give them money. Here's a fucking thought. Why don't we send drones over there to find those? Why don't we send drones over there to find the mines? Why don't we send our soldiers over there who are like, I'm going to die for our country? Well, guess what? This is what it means. Because the army fucking went over there and planted those things, and you're the army, so you need to go fucking dig them out. This is not hard math. This is not hard morality. And frankly, if I was a soldier and I'm like, so you want me to just shoot a fucking camel or set a gas station on fire? Or do you want me to go risk my life to pull out a mine because we placed it there a long time ago? I'm going to be in the second camp going, let's fucking find some mines. Let's use our brains. Let's invent some amazing drone sled radar metal detector shit. Let's uncover lost civilizations while we're doing it. Let's dig up all the mines. After we dig up all the mines, then we can go, look how evil we are. But let's dig up the mines first. Let's do that. Let's do that. Because this shit is not working. We're doing it because I know these things. I know these things because litera scripta mene. Could it be propaganda? Of course it could. I don't fucking know. But I bet you that there's at least one landmine that we left over there that's still there. I bet you it is. And I bet you some farmer's kid's going to step on it and is going to lose leg. I bet you that is still possible. So how many mines, James? How many do you need? I need one, fuckers. Just like my meme. I need one. That's all I need. I don't need 90,000. You can take your 90,000 and shove it. I need one. If we have one mine in Cambodia, we need to give them millions of fucking dollars until we don't. Is this hard? Is this fucking hard? It's not if you're not a hyena. It's not if you're not afraid of the fear. It's not if you understand what it is you're truly afraid of, which is admitting what we did, admitting what's happening. It takes an eagle, a fucking war eagle, to say, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to write it all down. But James, it's not all written down. I know, but it's written down more than we are. I don't see an Annals of Truth movement mistakes. I don't see that at all. I don't see hey, Mossad outsmarted us. All I see is Mossad stupid. These people are stupid. Symbology will be their downfall. These people are stupid. Symbology will be their downfall. They're Luciferian pedophiles that are following a strict moral code with nature, which means they're evil. They're following a strict moral code with nature because they're evil. They have to do that because they're karmically locked into the bonds of God because they're evil. Evil people that are following the morality of God and locked into a karmic bond of God are trying to destroy us through Luciferian pedophiles because we're the good guys. And it's just like, oh God, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. And this is the only thing that Gaia could do to make you wake up. It's the only thing. It's the only thing. Ask not what your country would do to you, guys. Because it's not a good thing. It's not. You're not going to want to see that. You're not going to want to see that. All right, we'll cover this later. Let you guys go. Sorry for keeping you late. Hope you enjoyed James True Live. Appreciate you. Thanks for the super chats, everyone. And we'll see you next time.